Kia ora and welcome along to the National Weather Forecast from Met Service for today, Wednesday the 26th of July. Fairly epic southerly change ran through Wellington last night and it's left the country in a pretty good southwesterly feeder. You can see by the way these clouds are moving, where everything's moving up from the far south and the west, bringing some cooler air across the country, and we've got more strong winds to come as we head through the rest of today for Wednesday, but also through in towards Thursday and Friday. You can see a bit more cloud out towards that eastern coast. As we head through the rest of this afternoon, we'll find more showers around the likes of that eastern side of the North Island. But this next feature, this one running in from the far south, will introduce more showers in towards the likes of, say, Fiordland. As it heads up the country tomorrow, we'll find it pushes those showers further north, and there will be some fairly heavy ones as well, perhaps even some more rumbles of thunder around those western facing coasts of the South Island as we go through the night time tonight. You can see as well the return of that snowfall about the higher parts of the South Island. We will again find some snowfall even about the higher parts of the North Island as we go through in towards Thursday. So here we are as we go through the rest of the night time. You can see this front continues to move north. This brings that wet weather up across the South Island. Like I say, some fairly heavy, thundery showers on this system. You can see those darker blues, a good indication of some really intense bursts of rainfall on that western coast. And you'll also notice some rather brisk winds with it as well. So there's some quite gusty winds around those showers, and even down the south as well. Those winds are really picking up for the likes of, say, that southland coast and around the Clutha, Dunedin area as we head through the night time and in towards the early hours of Thursday. We're going to carry on finding that front moves northwards as we go through towards Thursday, pushes that wet weather across the North Island. Again, still some fairly heavy thundery showers around that western side. And as we go through towards the night time, we'll start to find things pushing it back in from the east. So although we'll find it's a drier start, we'll find some wetter weather pushing back in towards Wairarapa, Marlborough and in towards Canterbury by the end of the day. And you can see we've still got that core of strong southerly winds around the likes of Banks Peninsula as well. So there are some severe weather watches and warnings in place, not only for today, but also as we head through in towards Thursday as well. So those watches you can see up through Northern, the Coromandel, those southern parts of Northern, and also those ones through the likes of, say, Gisborne, particularly those coastal areas in towards Mahia. They're ready for the rest of today. Head along to the Met Service website for the latest information on that. But you can see down across the South Island, we've got some severe wind warnings with gusts perhaps 120 kilometres an hour for parts of, say, Southland, south of about Lumsden, in towards Dunedin and North Otago. Also Banks Peninsula as we go through that daytime on Thursday or overnight tonight, Wednesday into Thursday. Also got to watch out for the Canterbury High Country in towards Marlborough, and later in the day as well up in towards Wellington and those southern parts of Wairarapa. For more information on those severe weather watches and warnings, head along to our severe weather video and also check out the latest information on the Met Service website. But it is a blustery looking day across many of the parts of the country for Thursday. Now we can see that band of wet weather moves in towards the southern parts of the country as we go through the southern parts of the North Island as we go through the morning, creeps up towards, like I say, Auckland by the middle part of the day, and eventually clears away to the north as we head in towards the evening. With that, there are some heavy bursts of rain around that western coast. Even in towards the east, though, places like Napier will find some showers as we go through the daytime as that band clears through. Some clearer skies behind it for many places through the Coromandel Bay of Plenty, but you can see with that southwesterly wind, we'll keep hold of showers for the likes of, say, Auckland and Northland and around those more western parts of those regions. But the heaviest with that front as it runs through. You can see around this eastern coast, once that first front's cleared through, this next feature moves in, so it will turn cloudier again and some wet weather, some rain arriving overnight in towards Wairarapa and even in towards Wellington. So for Wellington, it's a band of showers in the morning, clearing up, and then some wet weather through the afternoon. In terms of our temperatures, you can see we've got some pretty low highs, 10s and 11s, some spots into central parts of the country, 12 for, say, Wellington, but it's worth saying we have some pretty strong winds in the capital, and that'll make it feel a fair bit colder as well. And our nighttime temperatures back down to single figures, or well, many of us are back down to even 1 or 2 for the likes of, say, Taupo and Rotorua. For the South Island, again, we have that heavier fall of rain in towards the likes of, say, Westland and up in towards Buller to start the day. That'll clear away as we head through the morning, some brighter skies behind it. But you can see we keep hold of fairly brisk southerly wind around the likes of Southland and Dunedin, bringing with it more showers as well, again, making it feel a fair bit colder. And that wet weather running up towards Banks Peninsula as well, some really strong winds for you as well. So those are our areas we've got our severe weather warnings. We could find gusts perhaps 120 kilometres an hour with those winds in south or southwesterly. For the Canterbury High Country, we've got that watch out, and those winds are going to be an issue ahead of that front, and more northwesterlies as we go through the nighttime tonight, Wednesday into Thursday. But you can see by the end of the day, this next feature pushes more wet weather back in towards, I like to say, Christchurch, up towards Marlborough, with rain developing as we head through towards the end of the day, but still very windy around Banks Peninsula as well. So more information about those warnings and watches on the Met Service website. In terms of our temperatures, again, we've got highs of 12 and 11 for the likes of, say, parts of Canterbury. Some pretty cold temperatures down in the south as we head through the nighttime, especially where you get away from those winds and in towards the central parts, back down below freezing. But places like Invercargill, 9 degrees Celsius by day, 2 degrees Celsius overnight. With that wind chill factor, it's going to feel significantly cooler in those strong winds. As we head on in towards Friday, we'll find a brief ridge of pressure building across us, which means some more settled weather coming in from the south. You can see we've still got those showers to clear away from that eastern side and that top end of the country, but things are going to get better and brighter as we head through Friday. Generally a much better afternoon in store, especially across the south side. Some nice clear skies and generally lighter winds. But with clear skies and some light winds this time of year, we will find it's a pretty cold night as we head through towards the early hours of Saturday. But generally, things are improving as we head in towards Friday and the start of the weekend. That's it from me. This is from metservice.com.